Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, we finally got a look at Respawn's upcoming Jedi Survivor, and I gotta say, pretty excited. It was a story trailer, and you know me, I'm all about that, especially Star Wars. In this trailer, we pick up on Cal and the rest of the crew 5 years after the events of Fallen Order. And while Cal's dialogue implies that his goal is to find some sort of safe haven for him and his friends from the Empire, Marin's got some ominous fire-related metaphor that speaks to something else beneath the surface, which I'm guessing has something to do with the mystery figure in the giant Bacta tank or whatever that is from the first trailer, who just may be that person that we get a glimpse of in some High Republic robes. Which is probably a smart tie-in to get people to care about the High Republic stuff. I'll be honest, a bunch of High Republic books are out. I read one and was like, I'll come back to it, and simply have not. We also met Boda Kuna, who is a mercenary who will fight alongside Cal throughout the game. He and Cal form a special bond, Stig Asmussen, the director of Jedi Survivor, shared with Game Informer. It's almost like they're brothers. And they're not exactly the same, but they really do complement each other. And it looks like, according to the trailer, both Bode and Marin will be able to jump into fights and assist Cal. But that's not the only major gameplay change. Additionally, Cal will be able to utilize a variety of lightsaber stances depending on the threat he faces, including a new heavy stance leveraging the crossguard style lightsaber, made familiar by your boy Kylo Ren, and one that allows him to wield a blaster pistol and a lightsaber at the same time, which is... we all thought about it at one point. Why don't they do that more often? It seems like with this one, they are definitely trying to cater more to that, like, hardcore Star Wars nerd, you know, the one who cares about the different stances, like, well, this stance means this, and this stance, it's like, all right, even for me, that's too much, but I like it. I like they're doing that, so, very excited for this one. Obviously, I'm going to try and get Alex and Davis to play it with me like we did for the last one. I had a blast, so expect something from me, or I guess you can play it yourself at the end of April. Speaking of upcoming releases, in Australia, we have gotten a little bit more information on the upcoming Starfield. We know two things now. One, lots of drugs. Lots of drugs. And two, no sex. Sorry, gang. Over the weekend, the Australian government published their official rating for Starfield, giving it an 18+ capital R restricted rating, thanks to its, and I quote, interactive drug use. According to the Australian government, Starfield only has moderate impact themes and language, very mild impact nudity, and virtually zero sex. However, its violence is rated as being strong impact, and its drug use nabs the top spot for being the most least kid-friendly. And the main reason for the rating. And to be fair, Bethesda's no stranger to drugs. You've got your skooma, right? And then all your various chems in Fallout. But interestingly enough, Fallout 4 didn't have nearly as high of a drug rating in Australia. And I should know, I looked it up, and I guess that tells us something about potentially what could be in Starfield. And now I'm just kind of over here wondering, what the hell is in this game? They've been showing us up to this point kind of mediocre shooting and some interesting flying and planet traversal, not really a lot of story stuff, and instead they should have been like, yo, you trip balls in this game. There are scenes where space is like, I'm just saying, why was that not the selling point? This made me more interested. I don't know. I guess we'll all just have to wait and see what they show us this summer, or maybe on release in September. Anyway, speaking of new releases, it's Monday, so it's time for this week's newest games. Starting off the week, tomorrow we have the release of Chia. Join her on a tropical open-world adventure as she sets off to rescue her father from the cruel ruler of the archipelago. Climb, glide, swim, and sail your boat around beautiful islands as you explore a physics-driven sandbox. You can even take control of animals, objects, and jam on a fully playable ukulele. And I'm gonna be honest, I love a good guitar touchpad feature with DualSense. That's great. Then, on the 22nd, Have a Nice Death officially hit Steam and Switch stores. This creative roguelike puts you into the shoes of Death himself, the CEO of Death Incorporated, as you're tasked with putting your rowdy subordinates back into their place. And of course, in typical roguelike fashion, you'll use the knowledge and loot you've accumulated through every run to unlock new items and new abilities. Plus, the art style is just really cool, especially this little pumpkin guy here. Love him. And finally, this Friday, the remake everyone's been begging for since 2019, or earlier if you're me, Resident Evil 4 hits physical and digital shelves. Get ready to journey back to Europe with old Leon Sex Kennedy and Ashley as you take on angry villagers, chainsaw men, giant mutant fish, and more. The remake comes with modernized gameplay, a reimagined story, and vividly detailed graphics. And you know, with how well Capcom did 2 and 3, I have no doubt Resident Evil 4 will be just as much of a masterpiece as the original was. Anyway, that is it for 5 Minute Gaming News. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.